The Kronstadt base, arsenal and oil infrastructure in the Leningrad region of the so-called Russian Federation, and other facilities of the Russian Nazis invaders were hit.
On June 5 and on the night of June 6, 2026, units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine struck a number of important military and logistical facilities of the Russian Nazis' occupation forces. The Kronstadt base of the Russian Nazis invaders was hit in the Leningrad region of the so-called Russian Federation. Explosions were recorded on the territory of the facility, the extent of the damage is being clarified. Kronstadt is the main hub for basing, repairing and supplying ships of the Baltic Fleet of the Russian Nazis invaders in the eastern part of the Baltic, and also covers the sea approaches to city of Saint Petersburg. The Peterhofskaya oil depot of the Russian Nazis invaders was also hit in town of Lomonosov in the Leningrad region of the so-called Russian Federation. A hit, explosion and fire were recorded at the facility. In addition, the Nesty oil terminal of the Russian Nazis invaders was hit in town of Lomonosov in the Leningrad region of the so-called Russian Federation. A fire was recorded in the terminal area. The results of the damage are being clarified. The terminal is a key facility for the distribution of petroleum products, gasoline, diesel, in the northwestern region of the so-called Russian Federation. The one-time storage volume is 40,000 cubic meters of light petroleum products. The arsenal of the missile weapons, ammunition and military equipment storage complex of the 1060th Logistics Center of the Russian Nazis invaders was hit in village of Bolshaya Izhra in the Leningrad region of the so-called Russian Federation. Explosions were recorded on the territory of the facility, a secondary detonation and a fire. Among other things, the Ust-Labinsk oil depot of the Russian Nazis invaders was hit in the Krasnodar region of the so-called Russian Federation. A fire was recorded on the territory of the facility. The results of the damage caused are being clarified. The Ust-Labinsk oil depot is an important logistics hub for storing and distributing fuel and lubricants. Through the railway infrastructure of the Krasnodar region, it is directly involved in providing fuel to Russian Nazis military groups in the southern and eastern directions. Ukrainian soldiers also struck an unit's command and observation post of the Russian Nazis invaders in the area of Malinovka settlement in the Belgrade region of the so-called Russian Federation, and a material and technical equipment warehouse of the Russian Nazis invaders in the area of Karatny village in the temporarily occupied territory of the Ukrainian Luhansk region. The unmanned aerial vehicles control points of the Russian Nazis invaders were also hit in the areas of Voskresenka village and Odrodny settlement in the temporarily occupied territory of the Ukrainian Donetsk region, as well as Novofedorivka village and Zaliznikny settlement in the temporarily occupied territory of the Ukrainian Zaporizhzhia region. The personnel clusters of the Russian Nazis invaders were hit near city of Pokrovsk and town of Rodinsky in the temporarily occupied territory of the Ukrainian Donetsk region, village of Petropavlivka in the temporarily occupied territory of the Ukrainian Kharkiv region, and settlements of Tyatkino and Anatolievka in the Kursk region of the so-called Russian Federation. The Ukrainian Defense Forces continue to systematically reduce the capabilities of the Russian Nazis invaders, headed by small-size crazy son of a bitch, to wage war against Ukraine. To be continued. Glory to Ukraine.